Welcome to Here's How We Get There. It's the daily show filled with conversations about business and mental health in a down-to-earth style with real-world language. Now let's dive in with your co-hosts, Kenneth Shark-Kinney and Trey Tucker.
All right, Trey, a former opinion editor for the New York Times who had joined the company, said that office colleagues and HR shamed him for saying he loved the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. And HR rep claimed that Chick-fil-A hated gay people. Now, the journalist was hired several years ago, and he just recently released this story. He recalled his experience through an essay he had penned. And this was confirmed not only by him, but by some other people in this story. This all dates back to some of the controversy, if you will, around what Dan Cathy said about a little over a decade ago about his Christian beliefs and opposing same-sex marriage, Dan Cathy being the CEO of Chick-fil-A. There was a lot of protest. Even Governor at the time, Mike Huckabee, got involved and did an protest, if you will. But what are your thoughts on whether or not Chick-fil-A sandwich is good or bad? Because we're going to read into whatever you say.
Exactly, yeah. And somebody will find a way to get mad at me and say that I hate something. So I don't know when disagreeing with something or someone automatically got taken to mean that you hate it or hate them. And that's the whole problem right there. I mean, I'm thinking through the lens of, let's take a couple who's dating or married. Whatever they're doing, they're going to have some level of disagreement. And then all of a sudden, does that mean, well, if I disagree with them, do I then hate them? Because it's going to be hard to stay married or stay dating at that point. So there's got to be a level of common sense here, a level of duality where let's come to an agreement that we are going to disagree, and you know what, we don't have to hate each other over it, and we might actually continue to be able to have some back and forth dialogue and perhaps even a relationship. Whether it's a comedian, a restaurant, a musical artist, there's bound to be something you don't like about whatever they're doing. But does that mean you have to totally cut them out of your life, just like a person that you have a relationship with? No, we're going too far to try to grab power and control.
This is ridiculous. You're a bigot and I'm out. So one, I think it shows how many keyboard warriors there are today who don't know how to have real conversations with normal people. Yep. Their idea of conflict resolution is doing an online protest and silly stuff like that. Whatever the topic is, regardless of what your thoughts are on same-sex marriage or not, it just points out the level of just, I don't know, silly rage in people on social media actually thinking this is going to move the needle.
Yeah.
People don't have conversations with people anymore. Second, I don't care what anybody's opinion is about anything to a certain degree, other than I respect other people's opinions. I will at least investigate how did they get there in that opinion. Chick-fil-A didn't write Mein Kampf. This was not, Hitler working behind the kitchen at the time. This was nothing like that. But I can disagree with somebody and at least respect their opinion and take a couple of moments before I start screaming about them. And have a conversation. How did they get there? We hear this all the time. You always have to understand why somebody is this way from a mental health standpoint, because you don't know where people have been and where they're coming from. Well, take the time to get to know them. That is actually a big way for conflict resolution, is to at least start at a place where you can get on the level playing field and have a conversation. You might still disagree with them 2 minutes later, but give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not, complete morons or racists or bigots or whatever. Third, and most importantly, or maybe this is fourth, would be most importantly. Third, I don't care who makes what sandwich from where. You could go through McDonald's history, Burger King, Taco Bell, any restaurant. Ruth Crisp has probably got something that ties them back to something that people don't like. And I'm not going to investigate the time to really go into whether or not what their ideas are on same-sex marriages or abortion or the death penalty or whatever it is. I don't care if they vote for Trump or Biden or both of them. Just it's a place to get a restaurant. It's a restaurant's escapism, even if it is fast food. And number 4, and this is the most important thing, it's a damn good sandwich. And they keep proving it over and over again. And that's why, despite all the nuttiness that you hear when you hear this phony outrage, every year, Chick-fil-A is rated the top fast food chain. And that's proven the pudding. Their numbers keep doing well despite all this noise that's out there. So yes, you can have a difference of opinion with somebody. You can completely disagree with their opinions on this or that. I will respect you for not sharing the same opinion as Dan, Kathy, or if you do have the same opinion, but at least set up the time to have a conversation. Don't worry so much about what their opinion is on stuff that you're just looking for an argument with, and just enjoy the sandwich. It's a really good sandwich. Look at the lines. There's not lines of people there's not lines of cars set up waiting for people for the most politically correct sandwich company out there. It just doesn't happen. And get some sweet tea.
Thank you for joining Shark and Trey on the Here's How We Get There show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit here'showwegetthere.com. That's here'showwegetthere.com.